first met Gordy Davidson at a board meeting for the Electronic Arts Company. That must have been in the early 1980s, and he was general counsel, and I attended some of those meetings. Well, Gordy's, I think, been my most trusted business advisor. He's an engineer by training, he's a superb lawyer, and he's got really sound, great judgment. And so across a wide range of companies I've been involved in, from Excite Home to Intuit to Symantec to Macromedia to Bloom Energy to now the Google Calico project, or Alphabet Calico project. Gordy Davidson has been a powerful and low-profile force. I've learned from Gordy to be more thoughtful and to be a better judge of people. Gordy was always comfortable with technology and with the forces that are involved in business, but he was and is most perceptive about how to build teams, how to attract talent, and how to allow people, as our mutual friend Bill Campbell would have said, to be better every day.
So I think on that point, how did Gordy impact his colleague and friends, and what made him so special?
There's something very, very balanced about Gordy and very grounded. It's a hard thing to start a new company. It's a hard thing to grow a Cisco, or to build an Apple, or to launch a Facebook. And Gordy's had a hand in shaping each and every one of those companies. And so I think of him as the shoreline. And the entrepreneurs and I are out there in the ocean in a sailboat or a power boat, bouncing around in the waves and trying to find our direction. And we can always have in sight Gordy's shoreline, his sound advice as we sail forward. So all the companies that Gordy is known for working with, and he won't boast of these, but they're really fine companies. I'm very proud that they are making a difference in everyone's life. I've had the privilege of working with him perhaps more than any other venture investor or company builder, but the list bears repeating, and I won't catch them all. But Cisco, or Apple, or Facebook, or Intuit, or the Excite Home project, or Macromedia, or Symantec, or Bloom Energy, and on and on. I've missed others, to be sure. Calico, Gordy is backing Art Levinson, one of the Valley's all-time great entrepreneurs. This is a 62-year-old scientist who was the CEO of Genentech. And guess what he's doing now? He's at it again to work to try to cure diseases that come with aging. I just hope he does it very quickly, and I'm glad he has Gordy to help him. I think his legacy will be the firm that he built, Fenwick, which he doesn't run today, but he's chairman of and still contributes to, and the quality of the companies he served. Gordy typifies the role of a service provider. That his aim is to make Intuit and Brad and the Intuit management team even better, so that it is consistently regarded as one of the best places to work, with the highest values, the strongest cultures, and as Scott Cook would say, delighting their customers every day. Gordy Davidson helped Intuit with many, many important business decisions. I mean, there was a period of time where we almost, in fact, we voted to sell Intuit company to Microsoft for maybe $1.7 billion. Years later, it's worth $25 billion. So while that looked like the right decision at the time, it was far better to pursue the course that we have. And that story can be told again and again and again. One of my favorite stories about Gordy Davidson is the at-home company, which is really the reason that we have cable modems today to connect our homes to high-speed internet. When we started the at-home company, there weren't cable modems, and there wasn't affordable high-speed internet in people's homes. If you think for just a moment about what a difference that's made in the lives of Americans, in the education in our country, in the services that are available, all this video on demand, none of that would have happened if Gordy hadn't stayed up round the clock for days to work out a relationship with the powerful U.S. cable industry so that some entrepreneurs and I could bring them the technology. And we built a business that had a 7-year exclusive on data rights in the cable plant. And indeed, the lawyer that Gordy negotiated with created a special series of stock. We called it the Special K stock. And it had all kinds of provisions that allowed us to assemble an amazing team of people like Milo Medine, or Jeff Huber, who today is running Grail, or Jonathan Rosenberg. And the alumni of the At-Home organization are spectacular leaders and contributors. And we never could have attracted that talent if Gordy hadn't set this company up and then kept it going in the right way. The lawyer on the other side was someone by the name of Buzz McGrath. And as we were negotiating a version of the documents he sent us, he said, "John, I want you to know that I've hidden 10 time bombs in this document. They're gotchas. And I want to see how many of them Gordy can find." And of course, Gordy found them all. That's, I think, eloquent testimony to how detailed he is, how thoughtful he is, how wise he is, and how highly valued his services and the services of his team are to this valley, not just in the past, but every day going forward. You know, he's on the board of advisors of the Stanford Law School, and in a very low-key kind of way, he's a service provider not only to his clients, but to the institutions that make our community go, that make our community matter. And for that, I think we should all, grab a glass of wine and toast it to this hero of mine, and an advisor, a leader in Silicon Valley, somebody who justly deserves the award we're giving him tonight. Bravo to you, Gordy. So Scott Cook got an email message from Bill Gates, and it went as follows. It said, "You may not believe this is from Bill Gates, but it is. And I want to talk with you about Microsoft acquiring Intuit, us merging the two companies." And Scott read this note. He called Bill. He found it was Bill. And he got on an airplane. And he and Gordy and Bill Campbell, the famous coach, flew up to Seattle with one change of clothes. They thought they might spend the night there. Well, they ended up spending 5 days there, and they went to the local Sears store to buy them more outfits and clothing as they worked their way through a set of negotiations. It ultimately came to an agreement whereby Microsoft would only talk to Bill Campbell and Scott Cook and Bill Harris, just 3 people. And they kept all of the rest of Intuit separate from the conversations because they didn't know for sure if this investment would happen, this acquisition. Microsoft's board voted to do it, Intuit's board voted to do it, and then the Justice Department stepped in and sued because they thought it was anti-competitive. And we thought they'd still lose that case, that Microsoft would prevail, but they had a different view of it, and so fortunately that merger did never come to pass. Gordy was there around the clock with the team, making sure, for example, that there was a $50 million breakup fee, which wasn't in the original deal, in the event that Microsoft elected to abandon the suit, which they did. And certainly in those times, and even today, $50 million is a lot of money. So Gordy was the constant, thoughtful advisor to that team and to the board, and we came to a very good outcome. Hey, Gordy, congratulations on your being honored and welcomed into the Global Silicon Valley Hall of Fame. You deserve this. You rock.